Well, we're back here on part 2 of this video series, and I'm just sitting here looking at this thing. I think what we'll do now, I like to look at the piece as I'm doing it. Just take a moment, to check it out, to see what's going on and what can help me out. And one of the things I think can help me out is if I went ahead and painted the feathers. But anyway, let's take it apart. Oh, and one thing I am going to do is I'm going to make a new base for him. This base is made up of 2 pieces of different kind of wood. I think there's sycamore here on top, and I'm not really sure what this kind of wood is down here. It might be walnut, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'm going to make a new base to where it's all going to be one kind of wood, which will make it better. But it's a good thing to have around that I can send the carving on, okay? So anyway, let's take his head off here. Set him aside here. I'll just use this one here. It's short. And again, with these things here, it gives you a good thing to hold it so you can paint. Alright? And the first thing I do is just like the head, soak it down. Good with water. Now to create the texture on here, I used a Dremel stoning tool to rough up the surface here to give it a different furry look to the buckskin, or to the leather or buckskin on the inside. Okay? But again, you can see the different color of the wood now that it's wet. And again, that's the true color that the wood will always be when the paint is finished on the piece and the varnish is applied. This is the color of the wood that will always be there, not the other color. Okay? So, buckskin. First part we're going to paint is the interior buckskin color. Okay? And to do that, I have to clean off my little table here. This is a paint box I bought years ago, and I cut a piece of glass that fits down inside of it. Not plexiglass, but glass. It's just a piece of picture glass, very, very thin glass. But what that does, it allows me to clean my area that I mix my paint on. And get rid of all that. Get a piece of paper here and get it all ready for the next bunch that's coming in. Get me another paper towel here. Okay, for buckskin, I have here raw sienna. So I'm going to squeeze me out some raw sienna. It didn't take long. Put that over there. Get me my brush. Put that one out of there. Well, I'll use that. That's about the right size. This here, you can get this down at Hobby Lobby or Walmart carries it. It's just a brush cleaner. It's basically soap. That'll get your brushes clean. Get all that, as much of that paint out of there as you can get. If your brushes get really dirty, you can use my patented method of cleaning them with my wife's hairspray. I've shown you how to do that several times in various videos. It sure does the trick. Now I use a pyrotechnic pen to burn shadow lines, emphasize shadow lines and separation between colors, because painting wet. Phone call. I'm a popular guy. Okay, phone call's over. While I was talking on the telephone, I was constantly painting my figure here with just water to keep it wet, because I don't want it to dry. But now I can go ahead and keep it wet with some more color. So I'm painting all the buckskin areas of the robe and the body. As you see, as I pull color out of here, you can see the shadow underneath this color. The piece of glass allows me to look right down through the color and see how, whether it's thick or thin, you know, I can, just depending on what I'm looking for, you know, I can either pull out more color or thin it out or whatever. That's the beauty of this box. A lot of people, you know, they put their, as they're painting, they put their paints in these little round cups. I've got some around here somewhere. I don't ever use them because I like this method. It's just so much better. And I want the wood to show back through. I don't want my carving to look like a piece of plastic, or it's just totally covered with paint. See, I pulled out a bunch, and now I just thin out till I reach the point that I want. Going to keep this video a little shorter than that last one. When we finished the last one, it was almost, I think it was 56 minutes long. And a lot of it was me just rambling on, so I went back and edited out a lot of that. Not that it wasn't important, not that what I was saying was not important, it certainly was. Not really. Some people say, oh, we like to listen to you ramble on. I'm glad some people do. I don't know if Judy does. She's always telling me to shut up. Not really. Okay, so we got that painted. Let's go over here. Got some dirty fingers again right there. Let me get a knife and get rid of that. Along with my utility knife, which is my main tool, a good friend of mine gave me this little knife here, old pocket knife, and he went and he epoxied pieces of wood down here in the channels where the knife blade folded up into, and then he epoxied, or I'm pretty sure it was epoxy. He glued the knife in its one position up here, and then he sharpened it really sharp. And the steel in this knife really holds an edge. But the best thing about it is it has an OK on here for Oklahoma, where we live. I thought that was real kind of him to give me that. But anyway, what I'm going to do is just lightly shave off those little pieces here, like that. And hopefully that'll let the paint soak through. There you go. See, I corrected that. Okay. And there's no other thing on there. So, buckskin. So we used raw sienna for that, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a tan color. Now this is called Country Twill. Where they come up with these names, I have no idea. It's just a real light tan. I'll get some. Whoa! Well, I think that's enough paint. Some of these paints I hardly ever use. Let me get this out of here. So they have a tendency to skim over or whatever. And well, I don't like that color at all. Don't like that at all. What I'm going to do is paint in here next to the two pieces that overlap to create just a darker color. So it should accentuate those areas a lot better. There, that corrected it. That looks good now. Picking up some sawdust that's back in there. right here where the top heaviest crease here. A lot of highlight on that right there. To set that off. Just blend it in there. And then with a little darker color, I think that looks pretty good. So now, well, not yet, not yet, not yet. With asphaltum again, I think all we want to get in this video is, excuse me, painting the road. I'm working kind of fast here because I know I'm up against the clock. Next door to my shop over here on a piece of the land on our property is a spring-fed pond. And I was over there the other day walking around. And found something interesting, which I'll show you here in just a minute, as soon as I get this. Painting. Now I was going to get that, there it is, this color. This is a burnt umber that I've added black to that gives me a real dark burnt umber. Okay? And I might just paint right out of the, no, I won't. It won't take very much. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm not going to do this side right now because we're trying to keep the time, excuse me, keep the time down. So I'm going to wash my brush and go get something to show you. Recording? Oh, okay. Anyway, I was walking around the pond and I looked down on the ground, not really looking for anything, and saw this laying down there. And what that is an arrowhead that an Indian was making until they call it flint knapping, where they take flint rock and with another piece of rock they kind of press on the rock and the piece will break off. I'll show you something else here what I mean. But anyway, looking at this arrowhead, he was making it, and this big divot right here chipped off and it ruined his arrowhead. It was a beautiful piece until that happened, and he just tossed it away. And people are always coming through here asking if they can search our property for arrowheads, because there's all kinds of springs in this area, and I imagine there were a lot of Indians who settled right in this area, and that's why you see things like this. Now, a friend of mine sent me these arrowheads. These are early woodland arrowheads from over around the East Coast, up and down the East Coast. I'm not exactly sure, but I've got them taped down here. You can't really see them. They're the bird points. They call these bird points because they're so small. But you can see, it's odd, you can see from the quality of this rock, they're just about the same quality of stone. And then there's this. A friend who used to live next door to us gave me this. This is how he was making this piece of stone. You can see the color of the flint here changed, and he made a stone, or an arrowhead, where that stone was the prettiest. Which if I wet that, it even becomes prettier. Look how deep and pretty that is. And like I say, they just put a piece of leather over their leg, and with a piece of, I guess, wood or dark wood or whatever it is. If you look it up, flint knapping, on YouTube, I'll bet you $1 you'll find all kinds of videos of people doing this. And they just press down, I think it's a piece of bone. They press down on the edge and it'll just take off all these little chips. Just think how long it took him to make this, to remove all that material. Isn't that interesting? Amazing. To think all that was happening around this area here. So anyway, to finish this video, I'm going to paint these arrows. These aren't arrows. Paint these feathers for you. The white paint is dry now. Okay, over here on the other side of this now. What the heck? Some bug taking residence on my carving here. Again, here's where that little hook comes in handy. You don't want to paint with the other side of the brush, or else you couldn't get into these tight areas like that. That is right there. Well, it's not taking paint. Must be dirty finger again. Now I'm going to use a little bit of, here it is, red iron oxide. There you go, that looks nice. Once, it looks kind of flat now, but once it's varnished, those colors will really come out and pop, which is what we want. Okay? So, I think that's going to do it for this video. Well, we still have to do the feathers. I told you I was going to finish the feathers. Okay, we'll go finish those. Okay? So we'll be back. Give me a second. We'll be back in a little while. Judy and I had to take a break from videotaping. So now we're heading back to the shop to finish up this video. Cool in here. Well, here's where everything happens. Alright, doing the feathers. Well, I can't go out and get me an eagle feather to use as an example. Let's see, but I do have some feathers here. Here they are. This is a wing of a owl, large owl. I can't remember what the exact name of it is, but boy, he's a big sucker. If you could feel these things, they are so soft, just like velvet. Oh, it just feels good just feeling them. So pretty. When they fly through they could fly right by you almost, and you wouldn't even hear them, because these things are so soft. When they beat the air with their wings, it is just totally silence almost. Amazing. I mean, it really is amazing. Anyway, I found this just laying along a little trail we walk on up there, so I picked it up because it's just such a beautiful thing. These are feathers from a red-tailed hawk. Now these also I found walking outside one morning. Now well, I'm not even going to say it. They're pretty, but I wanted to show you, the curve. Feathers just have a curve, and this is why. See, it's the way their wings are formed. I don't want to pull this apart because it's pretty old and it'd probably break, and I don't want to do that. But anyway, that's why the feathers are curved. Just pretty feathers. Red-tailed hawk. Okay, for eagle feathers, because it's against the law to have an eagle feather in this country unless you're a Native American. And if you get caught with one, you're in big trouble. The eagles are protected because it's a national symbol, but for a while there they were on the endangered species list. Anyway, here's eagle feathers. Now this is a mature eagle. This is basically what we're going to paint on those feathers up there, but I just want to show you as the eagle gets older, their colors change. Now when I say eagle, you're probably thinking of the bald U.S. eagle. It has a black head and it doesn't have a black head. It has a white head and dark body. These are from the golden eagle. Pretty. Now this is an immature bald eagle. Now this is the American symbol. That's the kind you don't want to get caught with. Okay? Great book. So, like I say, we want to paint the ones that have black tips. So to do that, the first color I'm going to use is that dark burnt umber color that I mixed myself. Okay, it's not black, it's just a dark burnt umber. Let me show you what burnt umber looks like. If I can find one here. Here's burnt umber. See the difference between these two colors? I like that color. So, this is the first color. Now you see that white come back through there? That's nice, I like that. Okay. Black here. Excuse me. Good. Now let's see. I want to set that down to where the paint, fresh paint touches. So hold that up like that. Now with a color here called Mudstone, which is really a good color. I like this color a lot. I use a lot of it for various things. With that color, I'm going to paint my quill. Make sure we got it all. Well, wait a second, I want to keep that out a minute. Now, find the right brush here. This is a liner brush, real long, thin bristles. Take a little bit of that. The beauty of these liner brushes is because the brush is so long, it absorbs. Yeah, I need some more paint. It absorbs the movement of your hand as you're painting, which is nice because my hand's kind of jerky. I picked up that darn black. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Put that away. Now, with that modeling paste I showed you before, this cost about $15, I think. Used to have a price tag, I don't see it anymore. I believe that's what it was, almost 15 bucks. So I get me a brush here. There's that one. I guess that one might work. Give me a big dollop of it, and right there, this has a nail on it right there. That's what I used to anchor it to the head. I put that on there. Native Americans, when they decorate their feathers, they use the fluff of a bird's feather that's down close to the body a lot as a decorating medium. And that's what I'm doing here. Put that on there, like that. Looks like a mess, doesn't it? But as you'll see, it's for a purpose. Okay, got that. Now I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm just going to stipple this. This is why I like to do Native Americans. There's just so much neat stuff you can do to make your carving look good and have it be fun to do it at the same time. And it's just so simple, you know, if you do a little research to find out exactly what you're doing. See there? Now I'll come back once everything's dry, and this will dry overnight, probably dry by around 2 hours from now. It's even as thick as it is, as hot as it is outside, because it is hot out there. Put that away. Take some water and spray the top of that, because if you don't do that, the stuff's going to set up on you, and your $15 is going to be wasted. See if I can get my clamp around here without messing things up. There we go. Put that back there as my brake. There you go. So, he looks, something's going on over there. You look at him. So this is what I mean about a carving telling a story. He's not just sitting here looking straight ahead like you see a lot of times. This guy is telling a story. We don't know what that story is, but it's a story nonetheless. He's looking over there. Something's going on over there. So, until the next one, where we'll start doing the decoration of his clothing and his little attachments. I'll talk to you later.